Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders project. We're going to make a gorgeous card and I'm just going to run through a couple of the items that we're going to use from Spellbinders so that you can see them in the full packets, as it were. So the first item that we're going to use are some of the Spellbinders rubber stamps. Yes, they make rubber stamps. They're high quality, they give a really sharp stamp when you've stamped them, and there's a good range of different sentiments, especially in this kit. I've used it before and I will use it again and again because I like to get value for money out of my products, to be able to show you different ways to use them. So this is the special birthday sentiment stamp set. Then we're going to be using from the Botanical Bliss collection the floral tags. There's 6 dies in this set, and we're going to be using this shape here at the top. Very, very pretty die set. Cuts first time as well through your machine, so I'm very pleased with that one. One of my favourite labels collections, label 54. We've used it before and I'm sure we'll be using it again and again. I really do like the shape of this. So we're going to be using that one. And then the last thing we're going to be using as well from Spellbinders is an embossing folder. And the embossing folder that we're going to be using is called Blistered. Now I know a lot of you now are scratching your heads saying, oh, I didn't know Spellbinders made embossing folders. Well, they do, and they're great. They have quite a few different textures available. We've used horsehair, one of them, on a different project. Well, this one's called Blistered, and this is how it looks when you get it out the packet. For anybody who's unsure, it's just the same as an embossing folder that you would get from anywhere else. Simply put your card or paper, in the centre and then run it through your machine. Work on all the machines, whether it's your Cuttlebug, your Big Shot, your Platinum 6 from Spellbinders, anything like that. If you've got a smaller machine like the Sapphire, the actual embossing folder would be too wide for that. However, you know, they do give good texture, so they're well worth looking into for the embossing folders from Spellbinders. So, right, let's get on and make a card. The card base that I'm going to use is a 6x6 inch scalloped card base. I'll show you how it looks on our little square cardometer. So mine sits just less than the 6x6 inches there. Sometimes you find if a card says 6x6 inches on the packet, it's just short of, because it's actually the envelope size that you're going by. So just be a little bit wary sometimes. So that's mine, classed as a 6x6 inch square. Everything I do use, I'll put in the full description listing on my blog. So please be sure to check it out. Now, as always, I'm going to use my bone folder and I'm going to just run it down the edge to make sure we've got a good sharp edge. That just means that it'll stand up nicely and it'll look professional when it's on somebody's mantelpiece. It's a good sharp fold. Now we're just auto-focusing on the camera, so I'll give it a second or two. And we're going to start off, as always, we're going to do the inside of the card. Now this is going to be a really pretty card, and I'm using some incredible paper for the front of the card. Now for the insert of the card, what I've done is I've taken one of the floral tag dies and I've actually die cut it out of the inner that I've cut for the centre of the card. So it looks like a piece of waste, which you could use your waste, and it's an ideal way to use up scraps and things like that, because we do take so much time making the front of our cards. You know, it's nice to make the inside pretty as well. So what I've done is I've added tape just on the back of it, and I'm simply popping it into the centre of the inside of the card like that. So you can see we've got a nice gap here. So next, what I've done is on the front of the card we're going to be using some gorgeous paper from a company called Scrapbury. Now I had to trim it down to size, and on one of the trim lengths I thought wouldn't it be cool to do something a little bit different. So it was a full strip of paper and it reached from the top of the card to the bottom. So I trimmed it off, and this is just, I haven't measured it or anything. I would say it's just slightly bigger than maybe 1.5 centimetres wide. And then I took the strip and I put it through the die cutting machine with the floral tag that I'm going to use for the outside and for the insert, to make sure that on the end of the strip it actually cut the same design that matches the actual top of the insert that we've added, if that makes sense. So it fits around the pattern of the actual die. So that means we can add the strip to the card like that. And that gives it just something a little bit different, and the paper will match the front. And then I used the floral tag die and I cut it in pink. I've just slightly inked the edges, and I've used the favourite birthday stamps to stamp happy birthday. So now this die cut will fit in the aperture that we've already cut in our card insert, like so. And that means the insert will still be flat when we fold it. So we've got lots of room to write our sentiments, happy birthday, to, from, etc., little message, but the insert will look just as pretty as the outside. So now we can concentrate on the outside. I'm just scoring again down the edge of the card to make sure that it's a nice sharp score. So the paper that I've chosen, as I said, was from Scrapberries. It's such a pretty paper. Now I don't know that I'm going to be able to add a link for this at the moment, because I purchased this myself and it was just so pretty with the little birds on that it was so pretty I had to use it basically. So what I've done is I've cut it to size to fit the outside of our card, and I've also added flat tape on the back. So I'm simply peeling the back of the tape away, and then I'm simply going to add the paper back layer to the base of our card, like that. There we go. Now I'm happy that it just covers the bottom of the scallop, because the embellishments we're going to add will take the eye away from that basically. And you can just see the edge of the scallop, but I wanted it to show more predominantly at the top and the side. So that's our base layer. Now the next thing I've done is, using the floral tag die, I've cut out 2 die cuts from it, and I've simply got tape on the back, and I'm going to add these through the front of the card, and it's flat tape just through the centre, and I'm going to add them roughly like that, leaving the design at the top showing and the design at the side showing. So I've just got the 2 die cuts at one side. Now I've used my labels 54 and I've die cut 2 of the sizes. I've run them through the Xyron, and one of them I actually embossed before I put it through the Xyron machine. But I just wanted to prove and show you that you could emboss and then still put it through the Xyron. So the larger of the 2 layers that's textured, I'm going to just peel off my Xyron backing, and I'm going to position this over the top of the 2 tag dies that we've just added and press it down. Then I'm also going to peel off the pattern paper that I've used. Now this also was a scrapbury paper, but you could use any paper, anything that's got a pattern on it. So I'm placing that over the previous layer from the Labels 54. So next what I've done is I've die cut and embossed the floral tag. Now don't forget it was from our floral tag set, and it's the top one that I'm using. So I've taken that through the die cutting machine, and then I've taken away the die cutting plate and added the soft embossing mat, and then I've embossed the detail, the nice fine detail, and then I've just slightly inked it using spun sugar around the edges. So I've got double-sided 3D tape on this, a little bit of foam tape, and I'm simply positioning it through the middle of the layers that we've added already. And then, using one of the birthday sentiments, I've stamped "Wishing you an amazing birthday." And this is on the smallest die from the floral tag for the centre. And then I've inked it using spun sugar around the edge. So I've got that on 3D foam, and I'm simply going to position that through the centre of our die cut layer, like so. Then I'm just going to add a little ivory satin bow, and I'm going to position it to the one corner of our die cuts so that you can still see the top pattern and the pattern on the paper at the side. And then to finish it off, I've got a little paper flower, and I'm going to just add a little bit of silicone glue on the back of it, and I'm going to position it just over the centre of the bow, and that finishes off our card perfectly. So we've got the inside of our card that's decorated to match the front of our card, and you can see from using the same die and the same paper, even though that's a scrap, nobody would know. Then we've got the outside with our layers from the tag and our gorgeous paper on the back. It stands up nicely. It'll fit in any envelope because that will squash down, so it'll fit in a standard envelope. You maybe just have to press it down as you pop it in the envelope. Maybe a little bit of bubble wrap over the top of it or protection. But that is such a pretty card, ideal for anybody's birthday, and a great way of using up your gorgeous paper that you may be putting off using. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed these ideas. Please check out my blog, there's so many other projects on there, lots of information. All the descriptions are now on my blog only, it's underneath the project, and I also add the card pictures of the front and the inside of the card just to help you out and maybe give you a reminder. I love hearing from you, so please, you know, find me on Facebook, like my friend me on Facebook, like my post. If you see the video, give it a like, share it with your friends. I'm happy for you to share it. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.